Hello, everyone. I'm Amy Michielle Freeman, Realtor with Edina Realty,
I'm Steve Mohabir, loan officer with Edina Realty Mortgage.
and you're watching Time Tips. How goes it, Steve?
It's always bright and sunny.
I love that. It truly is inside and out. So, today you had some questions for me. We're gonna flip.
I did, yeah. I wanted to see, what the listing side of things is going, because clearly on my side, it's dealing with buyers who are moving up, moving down, those type of things. But from a listing perspective, what are you seeing? Is there more listings coming? Because we talk about is inventory stuff and what's going on there and what's going on in the whole market. That's a lot of questions at once, but
that's a lot of generality, so I'll see what I can do with it.
Okay.
The good news is that I actually list in a lot of different areas, so I'm not like just specific to one geographic area. So, and one thing I love about that is that it really is like the weather. Like it could be bright and sunny over in one area and a little bit overcast in the other area. So,
sure.
I love that diversity of it. One thing I actually have been like my motto for the last week, because this is when I've really sort of noticed it. The market for me sort of slowed down after July 4th, which I actually felt sort of refreshed about because it seemed a little bit of like what a normal market would do. So right. I had a couple listings that were sort of sitting there and it wasn't our price. It wasn't the condition. They were super cute, but no buyers were just really biting. So I think buyers are still a little tired.
Right.
And then after Labor Day, that week after Labor Day, I was like, okay, fall market's here. Like I had so many calls of people saying, okay, I'm thinking of listing my house. I want to get it on next week. Some of them may or may not have been ready for the next week. So I was excited about that. And then it sort of slowed down again.
Sure.
And the one thing I've been telling my sellers for about the last 10 days is we really need to flip the script on what we're considering currency for this market. It's not the price. Buyers are just not biting. If we use my fishing pond analogy, the fish just aren't biting right now as voraciously as they were 4 to 6 months ago.
Right.
But so our currency right now is time and patience. People just need to give it time. Buyers aren't snapping them up in hours for the most case. You do get some that's still going multiples. Good example, I had a listing that's been on since July 4th weekend, so a long time. Granted, we came on one of the slowest weekends historically of the year. Went into multiple offers just out of the blue. So it's that time piece. Buyers just really want to think about it a little bit and they don't want to feel the pressure and that's okay. The values are still holding. If you're a buyer, the flip side to that is put an offer on the table. Sellers have been hearing all along that their house is going to get snatched up in hours. So, it never hurts to just put an offer on the table and not get psyched out right away that, oh, you're going to lose it in multiple, because now's the time to buy.
Yeah, and I completely see that on my side of things where buyers who were in those multiple offer situations got burned out. Really, they burned out in March, and then just said, "I'm done. I'm stopping. I'm renewing a lease, or I need to wait till I'm comfortable." The only kind of downside to that is waiting as rates have gone up as things get more expensive, right? There's inflation. My normal comment is there's inflation everywhere, and interest rates is another example of it. And the cost of owning a home from a monthly payment perspective is higher. just like the cost of gas and milk and everything else. So it kind of ebbs and flows with that, but that I'm seeing, I call them retreads, and I feel bad, like that's a negative connotation, but it's like, you're kicking the tires till they pop, and then you stop, and then you put new tread on, right? Something like that. So to me, it is kind of, going back out and redoing things from that perspective, and kind of refocusing too, on what you're saying. Listings are, some are great, some are sitting there longer, and you don't know what the appetite is until you're actually on the market, right? You can get a general feel, but what do you think is the most important thing when listing? You said, people weren't necessarily ready to go on right now, even though they wanted to. What does that mean?
You still have to make sure your house is show ready. Like, it's not like you can just put it on the market and not do anything with it.
Right.
In most cases, you still have to be cognizant of the pricing. You still have to be cognizant if something's broken, fix it. It goes a long way to just fix the door handle on the house, as opposed to, just saying, well, the next buyer can do that. People are still watching a lot of TV shows that show that their dream house is on the market, and they're going to see it in the first 3 that they look at. And so you want to make sure that you at least make the top 3, and whatever that takes to have yours gleam, if you will, is the best way. And a lot of things people don't think about at this time of the year is it's okay to clean the windows. That can go a long way.
Absolutely. I need to do that in my own house.
Yeah, me too. But those were great questions. We did okay with you flipping the script.
Yeah, sometimes I talk too much, and I'd rather hear you talk. So that's exciting for me.
All right. Well, there you go. Well, I appreciate the opportunity, and everyone, we really thank you for tuning in to Tea Time Tips. Please note below if you have any questions or any topics that you would like us to cover. In the meantime, I'm Amy Michielle Freeman, Realtor with Edina Realty.
And I'm Steve Mohabir, Edina Realty Mortgage.
And you've been watching Tea Time Tips.